All right, so today we're going to take a deep dive into something that's super exciting, but also pretty complex, and that is choosing the right surrogacy clinic.
Mm, mm,
And you guys sent us some great resources that we're going to be digging through today
yeah,
to really break down like what matters most.
right.
And to help us with this, we've got our expert here.
Uh,
So, when I was starting to look at all of this stuff, it really felt like I was learning like a whole new language.
It is,
I mean, they're so good.
yes, there is a lot to consider. And, obviously it's such a big decision
Yes.
with big implications. So you want to have all the information possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the source that we're looking at
Mm,
really hammers home this idea that like the medical expertise of a clinic is super important,
right.
which like kind of seems like a no-brainer.
But
But
you would think so.
what does that actually look like
Yeah.
beyond just like,
Beyond the fancy website.
yeah,
You really have to go deeper than that. What are their success rates? And I'm not just talking like general pregnancy rates.
right.
But, um, if you are someone who needs donor eggs,
Mm-hmm.
you have any underlying medical conditions,
Right.
find out what their success rates are for your specific situation.
Well, it makes sense.
You want to see, how have they handled cases similar to yours in the past?
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're going in for like open heart surgery, you want a surgeon who like specializes
Exactly.
in that, you know,
You want the best.
right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
someone who's done this a million times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask for data,
Yeah.
to back up those claims.
Yeah.
A good clinic should be transparent and willing to share their statistics.
So speaking of transparency,
Yes.
the source also really highlights that as being super important.
Right.
What does that actually look like in like the world of surrogacy clinics?
So transparency means no surprises.
Okay.
It starts with a clear and detailed breakdown of all the costs involved. And I think beyond just the medical fees,
Right.
consider things like surrogate compensation, legal fees, travel expenses, and, any potential unforeseen costs.
Totally.
They should be able to give you a very comprehensive picture up front.
Yeah, I was actually reading about this couple who got hit with like this huge bill for like the surrogate's travel expenses.
Oh.
And it was something that like the clinic hadn't been upfront about, and it just like added all this stress to their journey.
Absolutely, and that's what you want to avoid.
Yeah.
Transparency also extends to the clinic's communication style.
Okay.
Do they answer your questions openly and honestly?
Mm-hmm.
Are they willing to explain the procedures and options in a way that you understand?
Right.
Do they provide you with detailed contracts and consent forms
Okay.
that you can then review with legal counsel?
So it's not just about money, it's about like open communication every step of the way.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, cool.
So that leads us to the legal aspects,
Yeah.
which can be pretty daunting.
Oh, tell me about it. I was going through and like reading about the legal side of this,
Yeah.
and it's just like a whole other world.
It is.
I don't even know where to begin.
Well, a good clinic will either have experienced legal professionals on staff
Okay.
or a strong network of surrogacy lawyers they work with.
Okay.
They should be able to guide you through all the intricacies of the contracts,
Right.
the parental rights,
Mm-hmm.
and any legal hurdles that are specific to your situation.
Okay.
For instance, are you familiar with a document called a gestational carrier agreement?
Honestly, I'm not.
So this is a super crucial legal document
Okay.
that outlines the rights and responsibilities of both the intended parents
Mm-hmm.
and the surrogate.
Gotcha.
So a good clinic will walk you through every detail and ensure that everyone is legally protected.
Okay, so legal expertise is a must-have.
Yes, definitely.
So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the heart of surrogacy, which is the surrogates themselves. The source talks about thorough screening and ongoing support.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Well, reputable clinics will have rigorous screening processes for potential surrogates.
Yeah.
And this goes beyond just basic physical health checks.
Right.
They should conduct, in-depth psychological evaluations to ensure that the surrogate is emotionally prepared for the journey ahead.
I would imagine that's super important for the surrogate's well-being, but also for the intended parent's peace of mind, too.
Absolutely. It's about finding the right match and ensuring that everyone is comfortable and confident going into this.
Yeah.
And the support shouldn't stop there.
Okay.
A good clinic will provide ongoing support throughout the pregnancy and even postpartum.
Okay.
This might include things like counseling support groups, regular check-ins to address any needs,
Right.
whether they're physical or emotional. Or remember, this is a partnership
Yeah.
built on trust and mutual respect.
And speaking of partnerships, let's talk about like donor programs, which can also be like a part of this whole process.
Yeah.
What should someone be looking for in like a clinic's approach to like egg or sperm donation?
Well, first and foremost, look for a clinic that has a diverse
Okay.
and thoroughly screened donor pool.
Okay.
They should have very strict criteria for donor selection, including genetic testing,
Right.
comprehensive medical histories,
Right.
and even background checks if that's something that you want.
Okay.
And, if you are interested in using a known donor,
Yeah.
like a friend or family member,
Right.
make sure the clinic has experience facilitating those types of arrangements.
Wow. So many different things to consider.
It's quite remarkable how much goes into it.
And I think one thing that's important and that the source also highlights is like you can't underestimate the power of personal stories.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, the reviews and the testimonials,
Yes.
that kind of stuff.
Hearing from other intended parents who have gone through surrogacy with this particular clinic
Right.
can provide invaluable insight.
Right.
They can offer a firsthand perspective on the clinic's communication style, level of support, and just their overall experience.
Like the inside scoop that you're not going to find in a brochure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, don't hesitate to ask the clinic if you can speak to some of their previous clients.
Yeah.
A reputable clinic will be more than happy to connect you.
Totally. So it sounds like finding a place where you feel really comfortable and confident.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Choosing a surrogacy clinic is a huge decision.
Yes.
And you should feel empowered to ask the tough questions and advocate for your needs.
Okay. And the source actually provides this like super helpful list of questions you should ask potential clinics.
Key questions.
They really are like golden nuggets.
They are.
I mean, everything from success rates to costs to surrogate screening to legal support.
Yeah. Use them as a starting point for your conversations with clinics.
Okay.
And don't be shy about digging deeper. If a clinic seems hesitant to answer your questions
Right.
or gives vague responses, that's a red flag.
Yeah, it's like if they're not being transparent from the start,
Exactly.
what else are they not being upfront about?
Right. Trust your gut.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so, wow, we covered a lot of ground here.
We did.
Choosing a surrogacy clinic is clearly not a decision to be taken lightly.
No, it's a journey.
Yeah,
It requires a lot of careful consideration and research.
absolutely. So as you continue exploring your options,
Yes.
here's a thought to ponder.
Right.
While we focused a lot on the practicalities of choosing a clinic,
Mm-hmm.
this is also obviously a really deeply emotional experience.
Absolutely.
So, what are the emotional needs that you and your partner have?
Yeah.
What kind of environment is going to make you feel supported and cared for throughout this whole process?
Right.
Finding a clinic that aligns with both your practical and emotional needs is really key to a successful and fulfilling journey.
Absolutely.
I think that's great advice. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
This was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
I learned a lot.
Me too.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys next week for another deep dive.
See ya.
Bye.